Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for joining me here. Jenny, your girl from the Balkans. This is Timeless Reading, Timeless Video. I'm posting it just before the 11:11 portal. It doesn't matter when you see it though, but this is the 11:11 portal tomorrow. A very important portal. And actually, I did not wait for this portal necessarily to make this specific video. This specific video is with very important information through my own experience, through my own findings. I need to share this information. I can feel and I know that there will be a lot of people who will need this information now. I am very happy actually that it came to my mind. I felt it intuitively that I have to make this video now, actually today, and I realized a little bit later that it's just the day before the 11:11 portal. Just to warn you, I will start with the message and the information that I want to talk about. It's about shadow work. It's about a 4-stage process, which I have called FTTH. I will explain what this is about. I already put it in the title. But I want to warn whoever doesn't listen to the intro in any case can fast forward. But I want to warn that if this video goes a little bit longer than what I'd like to do, I may not start with the tarot in this specific video. If you don't see me shuffling the cards, it means that I will make the tarot reading in another video. And if this happens, I will title that special reading for the tarot only messages. I will title it as promised tarot reading, no intros. So you will know what I'm talking about. So forgive me for whoever clicked on this video because of the tarot purely. However, I will start with these messages about the shadow work and this 4-stage healing, wound healing that I have gone through and I have systemized because I want to help many other souls. And I do feel intuitively that this is now the crucial time. It has to be heard. Just a little bit more about the 11:11, why actually I'm quite happy that intuitively I was drawn to make this video these days. I was thinking like since last week, but then this morning I was drawn to today, this specific day today, and today is the 10th, so quite good because the 11:11 portal is very, very potent, as you know, important portal that is open and strong till roughly around 12th, which is the 12th of December each year portal, and even it can stretch out till the 1st of January next year. The 11:11 portal is very important because it's to do with self-awakening, healing, soul ascending, and pretty much bringing your vibrations on a very high level. Besides making wishes and manifesting your dream houses, your dream cars, and everything else that it can come together. Yeah, we are all human beings. We all want our materialistic life as well to be in balance. There is nothing bad about that. Please, let's just understand each other. But very important, I'm happy that I'm actually making this video now. 11:11, absolutely amazing time for you to do the work or make a big step in the work that you're doing of your shadow self, of ascending, of raising your vibrations, of healing, of whatever process you're going through at the moment. And you have plenty of time. Since I'm going to post it now, you have plenty of time once you see to utilize the strength and vibrations of this portal itself. However, this video is timeless in any case. So let's start now. What I want to talk about. I want to talk about shadow work, but mainly to do with healing wounds or a wound. As you know, the shadow, if it needs work, and obviously we do need to work on the shadows, but usually the shadow shapes, forms, and actually gains more and more power or heavier shape, let's say, because of wounds on our soul, on our inner child, on all the whole pure spirit that is within us. And this is how the shadow forms. That's why it's crucial for us to continuously heal, because we may have been wounded even as children, literally in our childhood, and never have recognized this for many years. I will relay what I've experienced and what I've come through and what I have realized and how I achieved a lot in my spiritual journey. I've been quite intuitive from very young age, regardless. The journey was not easy, and I have felt everything and I have lived through it, so I know what I'm talking about. Um, Now, first of all, let me just give you the systematic, the steps and to explain you because I simplified it, even though my experience have gone through many years. I have healed from a lot of things. Some of the things I rebounced, actually, they were brought back to my attention. I'll talk about this a little bit later when I'm explaining the fourth stage. Now, why am I calling it four stages? I actually have compared it, and it's much easier to understand it because I have applied it to an everyday life experience situations that we all understand. Because sometimes we do not, when we even talk about spirituality, spiritual healing, a lot of people get a bit lost. As soon as we can relate and explain it in simpler terms to our everyday life with something, it starts actually resonating much easier, and it's very um, looking like not an alien to us, but something that we can really do and deal with. We are all amazing, high vibrational, absolutely magical beings as created by the universe, and we have limitless potential and capabilities. I know it's difficult to understand, I know it's difficult to grasp because this entails continuous work on ourselves to actually tap into these strengths and powers. However, the fourth stage, let's start from that. Fourth stage, the first step is feel. Feel the pain. Let me just give you an example how you will even acknowledge. I'm excluding the people that already are absolutely aware and have been through such processes and they understand in details what I'm talking about. Let's just talk about somebody who intuitively feels that something is wrong, whether it's within him or around him. Usually it's all together. Within him, around him, the life doesn't go as it should be, as we want it, as we dream, as we work for. Sometimes this can come as bad luck, bad fate, bad fortune. Usually it's to do with situations where you feel that you are a good person, you feel that you're doing all the right things that, let's say, you've been taught, you feel that is the right thing to do, but somehow your life is continuously derailing from time to time, or when you want to really move to another level. It doesn't matter in what area, let's say personal relationships, let's say career, self fulfillment. But there will be always this nagging feeling from within that something is off, but you don't know why and what, because you're doing everything as you should, and somehow the things are all the time derailing. This is when you are not aligned. When you are not aligned, and when you have, and I believe, when you are not aligned, it's to do a lot of not healing or have healed properly from certain wounds, i.e., you have shadow work to do. You cannot align if you have to do still shadow work. It cannot happen. So I gave an example. You already feel this nagging feeling that something is off. You cannot put your finger on it. What is it? What is it? It can go for a very long time. It can actually go for years. You can go up and down, left, right, and still you will be still going through the same circles, through the same motions. There will be a point that you will recognize that something within you is not right, is not aligned, is not balanced. You may even feel pain, but you still cannot pinpoint it because you kind of maybe have built even kind of good life. Even you're satisfied. You've done a lot. You may be even successful or quite successful. Yet something is not aligned. Not all is healthy. Let's say something feels broken, whether it's within you, whether it's around you, in your environment, immediate people who you want to be, who you love, etc. Once you feel pain, my first stage, feel the pain. And I'm just giving you an example for the beautiful people who maybe are unaware that they have to do the shadow work. It's not necessarily that you have to not understand that you are in pain. I just gave you a small example of for some people. There will be others who know exactly that there is pain and you have to deal with something. They might be either suppressing it or in denial about it, fearful to face it, yes. But I just gave you an example for the people who maybe don't even have a clue or they haven't stepped into this yet realm of spirituality and what it entails. So the first stage, as I said, the F stage, FTTH, 4 stages. Feel, feel the pain. There will be a time, will be, I mean, when willingly or unwillingly, but there is always a time that the universe is going to push this pain to the surface. Why? Because the universe is always overlooking, looking for your best outcome, taking care of you, because the highest vibrations in the universe, the creator itself, is always aligned with your soul, which is at the highest vibrations, the pure soul. So the universe is always going to push you towards this direction. Whether you want to hear it or not, whether you will take the road that the universe is trying to show you, that's a choice of yours. But the first step is to feel the pain. This can be very scary. Sometimes it's not one wound with one particular thing. It could have been an accumulative process, accumulation from different wounds that already have grown into a big wound. And that's why the pain can be very, very deep and very strong. And of course, even if you tap into that subconsciously or consciously, it can feel very scary and you can shut it down immediately. Again, maybe not consciously. But why I wanted to give you this information that I have experienced and I have gone through is because the more conscious we are and knowledgeable about all that, the better work we can do, and we can actually finally achieve the right results, which are absolutely crucial Not only for, let's say, just talking about spirituality, raising our vibes, for everything, for living happily or happier life, for aligning with everything around us. So, the first stage, as I said, can be scary. Feel the pain. You have to feel the pain. The first stage, I am comparing, and all the four stages, that's why I actually divided them like that. I compare them with the medicine and going to the doctor, which we all have experienced. What happens in real life? In the 3D life, not the real life. What happens in the 3D life? You feel pain. Usually, if the pain is persistent or feels serious or deep, we go to the doctor. What happens after? Second stage. The doctor gives diagnosis. What happens after? The doctor prescribes treatment. And what happens after? The fourth stage is that we are healing, and there will be most probably post observation to make sure that we have healed, recovery. Simplified. This same process in these four stages goes into the spiritual healing and working on your shadow self and healing wounds, no matter how deep they are. The first step is going to be feel the pain. You have to recognize there is a pain. If we don't feel pain, we will not go to the doctor. There is no reason to go to the doctor. And only after we've been to the doctor, we can receive a diagnosis, and then we can start treatment. So feel the pain. The doctor is going to be you. Now, please understand here, I'm not talking about, I want people who have serious health issues, not to think that this is a video to help them treat themselves. Please, I'm not a doctor or psychologist. I'm talking about something else here. I'm talking about us as human beings and human souls working on ourselves to heal ourselves from within and not to treat ourselves like doctors. Please, don't take me literally, please, you beautiful souls. I'm saying you are the doctor because in your soul evolution, in your self-healing of the soul and working on your shadow self, it is only you who can make it. There is nobody else who can make it. And actually, there is nobody else who can tell you exactly how to do it. You will be the one who will find the solutions. You will be the one that will find the right methods to treat the wounds because you know yourself best. And by the way, because your soul, your higher self, knows best. The higher self knows why you've been even through these specific experiences because the highest self knows where you need to reach to and the stages that you have to go through. You need to tap into your intuition, of course, to consult your highest self and your soul to do this work. But we have to find a way as human beings in the 3D reality how to do it. Of course, you can consult, you can use mentorships, different techniques, meditation, many things you can do. Music treatment. There is so many other methods. I mean, it will correspond to your individually. There is no simple rule that will tell you go do that and you will achieve this result in this specific work. So, feel the pain is your first step. Second step, trace the source. Now, we cannot just start feeling the pain. Yeah? We cannot just start feeling pain. Let's say we know we've been through a difficult childhood. Let's say, let's do that. I've had this in my life, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's say overall we've been through a very difficult childhood. There can be many different scenarios when we say difficult childhood, from very bad experiences to not so bad to the worst terrible experiences, the almost for horror movies. Okay, we are not going to go into all these details. Many people with many experiences, so leave it at that. You're not just feeling pain and saying, yes, I feel broken and I feel unhappy and I feel even victimized because I had very difficult childhood. Let's say I lived in an orphanage, and that's that. This is not going to help. This is not how you go through this 4-stage shadow work for really healing wounds, for really becoming the new you. No. You feel the pain, yes, you acknowledge there is pain. Then the second stage is you trace the pain. You trace the pain exactly to what it relates, the moment or moments. Not just, all my childhood, I was very unhappy. No, there will be certain moments, certain events, certain reactions or actions towards you that have triggered, that have wounded you. Sorry, they have inflicted the wound. Yeah, a wound cannot be inflicted by, let's say, daggers flying around you continuously. A wound is going to be inflicted when a dagger hits you in the body. A specific dagger could be even by a specific thrown by a specific person. This is what I'm saying. Trace. You cannot generalize. You cannot generalize when you do this work. I have listened to a lot of information read throughout the years when I was doing my healing. I have had tremendous traumatic experiences from different, by the way, areas and in different times of my life. Of course, the heaviest were from my very young age when I was pure and non deserving this heaviness, so. And I've done a lot of work. I thought that I've done a lot of work for many years when I was much younger. And through my actual ascension now, the last 5, 6, 7 years, when I actually realized what is happening to me through my spiritual transformation, I actually understood, when I understood all this process, I understood that actually in the past, I did not understand very well. I did not heal very well. I did not tap that deep because I didn't have that guidance. I didn't have the guidance. Yeah, I couldn't find the right information maybe. So you have to trace the specific moments. And now this is also very heavy in this stage. But if need be, you have to relive them. You have to relive them, relive. Sorry, it's Mercury retrograde. um, we are hindered, glitches in the mind, in the speech, and everywhere. It's possible that you have to relive them, but not to suffer. No, don't suffer. Do it more like outside observer. Do it in controlled manner. Do it in a manner where you are in control of yourself now. You can control this situation, and you are just dismantling everything to see the details. Don't dwell too much into that, no need, because yes, it can trigger heavy emotions. Do it the healthiest way you can, but yes, it may entail reliving and going into details to understand it, to understand why did you feel like that, In this stage also, it can be just, as I said, try to do it more like from an observer point of view, with forgiveness to the other persons or events or circumstances that were the villain in this situation towards you. Just try to do it in this manner, but definitely more through neutral, more point of stand, and like an observer, just observing to see the details, almost like an investigation. You can even do it more like a game, like a game. I'm not saying a game to have fun with. This is a serious work. But I'm saying try to do it in a way where you do not burden yourself emotionally more than you should, because you need to do the work now. This is a work, like scientific research, scientific work that it requires for you to achieve results. So, first stage, feel. Second stage, trace. Trace the source. Now you dismantled it, you know the source, you know what's happening. You diagnosed it, let's see. You're the doctor, you've given the diagnosis. Treat. This stage now, the third stage, treat, really depends on the person. That's why here I am saying that for me, you cannot give one shoe fits all. You cannot say start meditating, start breath work, start relaxing more, start loving yourself more, start. If you don't like, let's say, to go into meditation, because meditating to give really serious good results, it has to be a serious work. You cannot close your eyes for a minute once a week, once a month, and think that you're meditating and you're actually doing shadow work through meditation. I'm sorry, but this is how it is. And I'm not a person that is yet into deep meditations. I'm doing this a lot for the last years. I actually started through COVID time. We all know these horrible experiences that were put on us. We all went through it. However, it did help me a lot. I've never done this before. I mean, realistically as practice, but I cannot say I'm a meditating guru now. Not even like semi-guru, right? You have to find your own way. It can be as simple as sitting in the nature. I love nature. I can sit in the nature or walk around nature, among nature, in silence for a long time, and just being with myself, with my thoughts, and just clearing my head. This is one way. Another way can be listening to music. Of course, choose your music. You cannot listen to rapping and rock and roll. Death is here. This is not the right vibes for this type of work, please. But it can be music with certain vibrations. Let's be clear about that. It can be sitting in silence, or not even in silence, just being on your own. Though you have to be with yourself to do the work. Cannot allow noises when you're doing that. You can do meditation, even fantastic if you're into these practices. But you have to find your way how to heal from that. How to start really looking at the wound, like actual, you visualize it, it's wound, you're tending to the wound, you're taking care of the wound, you rest yourself, you recover, rest, relax, exactly how we are healing when we actually have been put in bed by the doctor. What do? We sleep a lot, we nourish ourselves with good food and drinks, we tend to the wound, but mainly is rest, relax, recover, take care of our body, mind, soul. Yes, this is what we do. So this is the third stage. Treat it. And as I said, nobody is going to give you the exact treatment for your exact situation, for your exact wound, for your specific wounding. You know, your soul knows what you will have to do. Your highest self knows. You have to tap in. You have to align yourself for this specific work. And trust me, you will get there. But have the patience. It doesn't mean that you will be able to get it right, the right way how to heal yourself within 24 hours. Oh, I'm going to lie down today, listen to some music, and tomorrow I'm going to figure it all out. No. Of course, we cannot leave it to linger for months and years. But it can take some time. Maybe even you might try a few things and you feel this is not working. I'm not feeling any progress. You will feel it from within. Are you actually moving from feeling the pain to feeling more harmony with the pain first? You will start feeling first disconnecting from the pain, and eventually you will be feeling like a harmony, like yeah, you will feel harmonious kind of feelings rushing through you when you are thinking about that. I cannot explain it in any other better way, to be honest. But you will feel more and more calm, tranquility. You may still feel the pain, but the calm and tranquility is the first signs that you're actually healing, that maybe you have found your way. And once you start feeling that, this means you have found your way, and follow it, because now you have to progress to the fourth stage. The fourth stage is healing and recovery. What do we do, as I gave the example of going to the doctors in the fourth stage, when we already have undergone the treatment? We're healing. And usually the doctor, especially if it's something more serious, would have said, come back to me in whatever weeks, a month or 2 months, let's do another check, let's see how you're doing. If you are feeling off again or something, call me immediately. So it's like an observation period is the healing, but also observation period. So there is no relapse, right? And to make sure that the treatment is working well. Because sometimes the treatment may start working and then stops working. This means we relapse and we might have to go to the doctor again. This may even happen in your own healing process, in the shadow work. As I said, you may decide that music will work for you, and it might work for some times, but then you would feel it again intuitively, and maybe not even only intuitively, but the universe might even push you into something that you may be triggered about, and you will realize that you have done some work, but it doesn't feel like it's progressing very well. This will be a relapse. Then it means that only doing that, listening to music, is not enough for you. Maybe there is something else you have to do. And this last stage is very important, that you observe yourself. I'll tell you why, because I've gone through actually the two major things that I had to recover from, that were from my childhood, that I absolutely was convinced for actually many years that I have done very good healing, and I even thought I've forgotten. I'm completely over these things. Shockingly enough, they circled back around, I believe, by the universe, to trigger me and to show me that somewhere maybe down the line I've stopped the healing maybe a little bit prematurely. And now I want to explain you why this fourth stage is very important. First, you have to have the patience for this fourth stage, to observe, for the observation, to make sure that this is done, and check and recheck continuously. Because when we are healing the wounds, we have to make sure that these wounds are healed 100%. In my case, it was that they were healed very, very well, but it has appeared that, and I'll tell you how many years, almost 18, 19 years later. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? It was a shock to me as well. I understood that there was this tiny, tiny bleeding, soft bleeding, I call it, coming from the wound, especially the one wound from my childhood, that obviously I would have not even maybe noticed, but it was still bleeding. Even if it's not bleeding, there was a little bit of blood there. And as soon as there is blood dripping, and please, again, don't take me literally, right? Understand what I mean. As soon as there is a tiny bit of blood now, this means you still have a little bit more work to do. We cannot leave anything unhealed. When we're talking about shadow work, spiritual work on ourselves, and cleansing our spirit from everything that doesn't serve us. These tiny little drops of blood, let's call them drops, that have been bleeding for years, I acknowledged and realized that they've been maybe building big stumbling blocks in me, in my life, and creating blockages. I'm happy though. I'm happy again, as I said, nothing happens for no reason. I have realized it exactly at the time that I have to realize it, perhaps because I was ready to do the work. The metamorphosis that I actually started experiencing at the time, um, even part of this metamorphosis was triggered by this realization and many others, but this specific realization, and gave me a lot of knowledge and experience how this has to be done. So this is what I wanted to share with you. The video is going a little bit longer than I planned, as I said, and I think I'm going to leave the tarot reading for the other video as promised. Whoever wanted to hear it here, please forgive me if you listen to this. But if you listen to this, it means that you were drawn to listen to this and you need this information. This information here is very important, and I know 100% there is a lot of people that need it now desperately. So I want to stop here. Again, I'm reminding the fourth stage is FTTH. Feel, trace, treat, heal. I'll be happy if you share your thoughts, whatever you want to share. If you want to ask me or say anything, more than happy to hear from you. You will see my email under the video in the description. I will post, as I said, another video after that for the tarot reading only for all signs, for any sign, and I will title it tarot, as promised, tarot reading, no intros, so you will know that this is the tarot reading that I am skipping here, but I believe that what was just said is very important information for some of you. So forgive me, maybe I was a bit too serious. These are serious topics. Of course, I have planned in this channel to do very serious, amazing work to help. But of course, with this channel, we will be always having also fun because we want to enjoy life, raise our vibrations. It doesn't have to be gloomy, you know, and very serious, but I'm talking about serious things. So I cannot be laughing through it all, right? So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really, really hope that more and more hear this video, and I know that it will help you a lot. I love you. You're doing amazing work. So, see you. Bye bye.